Hi there, Steve Kaufman here again. See if we can get rid of those lights there. There we go. Um, yeah, some of my videos were zapped, including my most recent videos. I'll start up again here. This is a series called Frequently Asked Questions on language learning, and I'm Steve Kaufman, as you know, of link.com, and of course I've learned 11 languages, so I have a bit of experience in language learning. My answers to these frequently asked questions are based on my own experience. They're not based on any science of second language acquisition. One question that is asked is, how do you listen effectively? I think many of you know from listening to my videos that I very much believe in a lot of input. I think for certainly at the beginning and for a long period through your language learning experience, it's very important to get the language in you before you worry about how accurately you can produce it. And that means listening and reading. And people ask, well, how do you listen effectively? Some people say that they have trouble concentrating and so forth. Well, here are some thoughts. First of all, the listening experience has to be enjoyable. So get very good earphones. All right. And so someone asked, what do I use? Well, I have when I go jogging. And the great thing about listening is you can do it wherever you are. You can do it washing the dishes, while jogging, while cross-country skiing. And I have this pair of Sony. I don't know what they cost. I can't remember. You know, they're not the cheapest, but the sound is very good and they hang on your ears very comfortably. So I use them all the time. The sound quality is excellent. Sony, and get a pair that sort of hangs on your ear like this, okay, so that you don't have to worry about it falling out. And that's what I normally use. However, sometimes my wife plays the piano, or I have a thing called a Nordic track at home, which is a little bit noisy. Or if I'm sitting in an airplane, then I use these, which are made by a company called Sennheiser, and they have a noise guard thing so that you can actually block out noise. But I don't use these very much because, of course, my ears will start to sweat, when I'm working out. So, but for 15, 20 minutes on the Nordic track, they're fine. So invest in quality sound. Most of the MP3 players will produce good sound. Make sure you have decent earphones. Other than that, here quickly, as I'm running out, I want these to be short. Basic principles of listening. You're going to tune out. Don't worry about it. When you start new in a language, at least I find that I want to listen 20, 30 times. And then as I progress, I listen less and less frequently to the same content. So if I basically kind of stop focusing, go away from the listening, it doesn't matter. Listen again, you'll eventually pick up all the different spots. For most of the period, until I'm very good, I always want to have a text of what I'm listening to so that I can then read it and save words and phrases or underline phrases, focus on the text so that when I listen again, I start to notice these things. I'm not one of those, but there are people who like to do this. I'm not one of those who just likes to have the language sort of blaring on in the background. I like to actually try to understand what I'm listening to, and I like to focus on different words and phrases, even if I'm not focusing all the time. Listening is just big advantage is you can do it anywhere you want. It enables you to basically fill in dead time. If I had to rely on other activities, I wouldn't study nearly as much. 80% of my language learning activity is based on listening. And if you listen the way I advise you to, you will find that certain phrases are going to stay with you. Phrases that you listened to 2 years ago are still going to be with you today, kind of thing. So those are my tips. Don't worry if you can't focus all the time. I find it difficult to focus if I actually sit down and try to listen. But whereas if I'm doing something else, I find that I am able to focus 60, 70, 80% of the time. And that really helps the brain get used to the language. So that's my take on how to listen. I hope that's useful.